Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Have a Knife Day. I got a couple of Rough Riders here in the foreground that I wanted to share with you. They're both from the Amber Bone series. The one on the left, on your left, is Rough Rider 053. That is the small Congress. It's not the tiny Congress, but the small Congress. It's about 3.5 inches long. Of course, the one on the right is a familiar pattern to many slip joint collectors, and that is the Trapper. That's a full-size Trapper, model number Rough Rider 22034. I want to review these today and talk to you about the fit and finish, walk and talk, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and get into the knives themselves. So the smaller Congress, the Rough Rider 053, is a very nice model. It's very pocketable, carries very easily. The Congress pattern itself has a long, rich history that goes back to days of the Civil War. In fact, if you're unfamiliar, you may not be aware of this, but President Lincoln, when he was assassinated, actually had a Congress pocket knife in his pocket, and that Congress pocket knife is now available on display at the Smithsonian. This knife, I was pretty pleased with it. There was only one thing that I didn't, or actually a couple things that I really didn't care for about it, but overall it's a pretty nice knife. One of the things that I didn't care for was that in order to make the blades fit in this narrow canal, they have to flex a couple of the blades to kind of cross in the middle. I would have preferred to see the smaller blades flexed and left the larger sheepfoot blades flat and straight. However, that's not the case. They had flexed. If I hold it like this, you can see they flexed the larger blades, and the larger blades actually cross in the middle. And it's probably easier to put the bend on the larger blades than it is on the smaller blades to put the torque to make them fit. Had a little bit of blade rub. Overall, the finish on the outside, the covers met the bolsters on both ends. This pin right here on the mark side in the middle was a little proud but not obnoxious. But all in all, the other 5 pin placement spots were all smooth, so that was kind of nice. And again, the transition from the covers to the bolsters, there was no gapping, fit pretty well. I did notice that when the blades were closed, that the springs tended to be a little bit recessed on the bottom. In other words, if I were to rub my thumb across the end of the knife near the bolster, I could detect that the springs did not meet the brass liners. However, I was pretty pleased with how the covers did match up. Some of the best amber bone I've seen in these pocket knives was on these models. So Rough Rider's doing a great job with their amber bone. Moving on to the Trapper, not a whole lot of surprises when it comes to a Trapper. Everybody knows this model came out around 1920, and not with Rough Rider, obviously. Rough Rider's been around for about 25 years, but this pattern actually came around 1920, and it was introduced. The nomenclature on it was a ruse. They were trying to sell more with the name of it, and it's become a popular pattern. It's in the jackknife family, meaning that both the blades pivot from the same end, which means on the right side you'll see, on the right side of your screen, you'll see a bolster, and on the left side it's considered an end cap because there are no blades that pivot from that side. The amber bones seem to match up pretty well, and again, I do have a buck knife, buck canoe, that has amber bone covers. and it's a nice enough knife, but it's also I just feel like the amber bone's just a little bit nicer, a little bit richer through these Rough Rider blades. Fit and finish on this again, very good. No proud pins. The shield was adequately placed. There was just a very fine edge, very thin gap here on the mark side near the end cap. But other than that, the transition from the covers to the bolster and end cap were very good. And I had the same issue with this one as I did with the Congress, in that when the blades are in the closed position, the springs set a little deep on the backside or of the knife, is as compared to the liners and the covers. But all in all, it was a good knife. Definitely well worth what I gave for it. And I've been very, very impressed with the quality that you get with these Rough Rider knives. And I appreciate Smoky Mountain Knife Works for what they're doing to distribute these knives. And I want to take this opportunity also to do a shout out to the Rough Rider Blades group on Facebook. The group is growing, and we're nearing about 200 members, and there's been lots of good banter there. So if you're interested, if you're watching this video and you're interested in Rough Rider knives, that's a good place to connect with others who also collect and appreciate Rough Rider knives. This has been an installment of Rough Rider knives on Have a Knife Day. Again, this is the model on the left is the Rough Rider 053 Amber Bone Small Congress, and the model on the right is the Rough Rider 22034 full-size Trapper in Amber Bone. I appreciate you tuning in. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share this video with friends. And tune in again, and I'll have another installment of Have a Knife Day as I continue to review Rough Riders that I have in my collection. Thanks a lot for watching. Have a knife day.